Okay, good morning. My name is Casey. I am here. If you are viewing this and it is not Monday, March 6th, 2017, between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you are not viewing this live. Just want to let people know because you can continue to comment after it's not live, but your comments won't show up on the live stream. And it looks like a couple of people are popping in. I also want to preface this by saying that, good morning from Florida. There are those that don't appreciate live broadcasts as much as direct videos. I totally get that because there will be fits and starts as comments come in, and I do try to respond to the comments. If you do not enjoy live broadcasts and this kind of interactive thing, no worries. But this is the way I conduct a live broadcast. The point of it for me is to interact with people that take the time to show up. Thanks a lot as people continue to come in. Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Rose. I've got some really great news this morning that I would love to share, and I'll repeat this a couple of times throughout as people continue to come in. So if you will indulge me with kind of repeating myself every now and again. I did a live broadcast a couple of days ago, really impromptu, because I'd hit a new low. And that same morning, I actually surpassed this little interim weight loss goal I had. I've always set goals for myself. And if you go to my blog, you can see a tab on that blog that says my next goal. And so I don't put the weight down because I still don't share what I weigh. It's a little emotional thing I still haven't gotten over. But I had set a goal that I had wanted to lose it, I think, starting January 8th by March 6th. And it's always very arbitrary. It sounds weird, but it's based on formulas on my huge spreadsheet. I wanted to lose at that point 5.8 pounds. And I thought, well, that's a pretty aggressive goal at my stage. I've lost quite a bit of weight. And I thought, that's maybe I will, maybe I won't. I did. I lost, not only did I lose 5.8 pounds, I did it 2 days early. So I was very excited and pleased and surprised. So I made a little thing on that, I think Saturday. So I set a new goal, another 5.8 pounds. Again, this is based on formulas on a spreadsheet that goes back a long time. Again, aggressive. So I set the goal. You can see it on my blog. And I'm giving myself through April 30th to lose 5.8 pounds. Again, very aggressive, considering the amount of weight I've already lost, and I just don't have that much more to go. Words I never thought I'd be saying. This morning I hit another new low. This morning. So from Saturday to this morning, I lost a half a pound. I mean, that just doesn't happen anymore. So I say all this by way of being happy for myself. I give that to myself to be happy. Stick with this. I have been happy with my weight loss since the first year. And I just looked back answering someone's question on a Facebook group. How long did it take to lose weight? So as of this morning, 95.4 pounds down. It's almost unreal to me. And I don't know a way to pop up real time a before picture. Many of you might have seen the before pictures. Oh, Rhonda, thank you. Super chat. I'm going to interrupt myself again. I want to say something. Super chat is a thing that YouTube has come up with. If you click on the $ below and you feel like you want to throw money to the person, the presenter, you can do that. But there is something else, and I want to make sure I get this in. If you donate, you can post a question or comment. You don't have to, but it'll linger up at the top so that I think I can do this. I'm going to double check this. Thank you. No question or comment. I really appreciate that. But that will linger at the top. So I can go and look. So if you have a question, I'm not soliciting, but if you have a question, and because the questions go by rather quickly, it's hard for me to keep up with them. Not only will they linger at the top for some amount of time, and I can go over like a little commercial break and answer those questions, even after I commit to this, even after the broadcast is over, I will answer those questions. I'll make another little video, not live, answering those questions. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, Rhonda. I really appreciate that. Getting back. Hey, your goal is 5 pounds by May 1st, says Janie Bug. Let's do it together. So I lost, I think the first year, about 47 pounds, and I was over the moon. I said at that point, if I never lose any more weight, I'm happy because I felt so much better. I never thought I would lose 47 pounds. I had tried for years just to lose 10 pounds. My goal was always to lose 10 pounds. Any of you who have struggled with weight know this. Surely you know it. That you try to do it, you set a goal, and it just won't work. And you think, well, I'm just not somebody who's going to lose weight. I'm a fat person. That's who I am. And at some point, particularly get to a certain age, not only do you believe it yourself, but everyone tells you that. You're at a certain age, if you haven't lost the weight by now, don't try because it's not going to happen. I'm here to put a lie to that. For those of you, Janie, thank you. Thank you, Janie. She says, you're great, Casey. I appreciate that. And I'm happy for the sentiments. If someone does have a specific question on any particular topic, I am happy to answer as well as I can. But so not only do we tell ourselves, I'll never lose weight, the media, medical, physician, people tell you, well, if you're a certain age, you're not going to lose it. No spring chicken. I'm here to put a lie to that. For those of you who don't know, I'm 58 years old. I started this at age 55. As far as I know, postmenopausal. Due to an unfortunate case of an invasive form of cancer, when I was pregnant with our third child, I haven't had a hysterectomy when I was about 31. So I assume I was postmenopausal. All those things that you're told, you're done. So don't let anyone tell you that. Ever. I don't care how you're trying to lose weight. If it's effective for you, do it. If it's not effective, change things up. I know a lot of people have great success on Weight Watchers. I think that's fabulous. Many people go with paleo, or I think it's called Whole30 or something like that. If it works, great. And I do want to back up because someone is congratulating Karen from Alaska. I'm at the low end of my 5-pound goal range this morning. Man, it feels good. Karen, can you share how long you have been on the low-carb or ketogenic diet, what you're doing? Can you share, if you don't mind, how much you've lost? Can you share how long you've been at it? Do you want to share your age? It's all up to you. So keep at it. Okay, I'm 54, hypothyroid, and postmenopausal, age 48. You need to lose 30 pounds. You can do this. Many people say, I have thyroid issues. I have no gallbladder. I have this. I specifically asked Dr. Westman this at the last one of the last support group meetings. There is no reason that people without a thyroid, without a gallbladder, on Synthroid, on whatever, he says this diet is not contraindicated for any of those conditions, okay? So try to ignore it. It may or may not. He didn't even say that it would slow things up. So try to not anticipate that you're going to have an issue. Again, medical science has told us things, and sometimes they're not always true. Okay, so Karen started in 2008. She lost 60 pounds by her goal of 2010. Fantastic. Hanging in there all these years. Started with paleo, low carb, the last 5 years. Age 61, lost after menopause. Okay, okay, Jessie, she has no thyroid. She's lost 31 pounds in 5 months. So let's not tell ourselves that if we are hypo or hyperthyroid, or we have no gallbladder, or things like this. And I'm not saying that people use that as an excuse. We've been told, oh, your thyroid's going to totally screw things up for you. Or you don't have a gallbladder, you can't process fat. He said that is not true. Okay? So let's be positive. So anyway, the first year I lost about 47 pounds. That was slow, right? But was perfect. That was not even a pound a week. By the next year, I think I had lost 70 pounds, something like that. Slow. As of today, I'm 15.8 pounds lighter than I was this day last year. Slow. But I've been happy with all of those weight losses. You know, some people, hey, Pat is 61, 103 pounds. Does caffeine stall ketosis? I hope not, because I drink it all day long. All day long. I'm right now not drinking coffee. I'm drinking a humongous mug of homemade bone broth with added sodium. I will, if someone wants to hear about the sodium, I'm happy to share it, but I'm not going to repeat it because I've talked about it many times. So this morning, so I drink full high test coffee all the time. So does my husband. He drinks it much more than I do even. This morning, because I hit a new low. For those of you who are just joining, I'm going to repeat myself. Sorry. First of all, I'm going to go through some housekeeping. This is a live broadcast. If you are seeing this, and it is not Monday, March 6th, between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you are not seeing it live, which is fine. But just know that I'm responding to comments here. And if you make a comment, I won't see it because I won't be there. Second thing, this is housekeeping, and thank you for indulging me. I do offer one-on-one coaching. You can go to my website and see it. Email, video, phone. Third thing, I do want to make this announcement. I made some notes. If you are not familiar with a woman who has a channel called Brindis Running on Keto, she's in Iceland. She's smart, she's funny, she's positive, she's self-analytical. She has a wonderful cat named Mario. She does weekly food prep videos and she does cooking videos. I don't do too much because I'm a sloppy, lazy cook. And other people do it much better. I've done some, but I don't do too much. And she and I reached out to her and we had a little chat yesterday, a little video chat. We're going to try a collaboration on Sunday, probably at about 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 6:30 GMT. We're going to have a collaboration. We're going to try it out. Neither of us have done it. I don't really know how to set it up, but we're going to try. So we're going to do it and try to take questions. I love her. Check her out. I love watching Brindis. I don't know. There's something about her. And she has been kind of stuck, and she's changed things up a little bit. And the scale has moved. I told her yesterday, I said, for something has changed. She's glowing the last several videos. She looks so beautiful. And next, housekeeping. I would love to hear, Karen, I think I have heard from you. If there's anybody that's been in ketosis for an extended period of time, a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, if you can reach out to me. This is literally for a research project. I am not a researcher, but a researcher has reached out to me, and we are trying to spearhead some research. She's humbled. She's asked me to join. So I'm trying to collect names of people. It's confidential. If you've been in ketosis for the longer the better, and there's some way you can document it. Either you've kept a journal and written down, or you have it in your little machine measures it and has a history in it, or whatever it might be. That would be great. Just if you can do that, you can either message me directly through YouTube. You can message me through any of the Facebook pages, Go Keto with Casey, or the Keto, Go Keto with Casey, or you can email me at casey@caseydurango.com. Next bit of housekeeping. I've already talked about this earlier. A couple of you have been super generous to contribute to the super chat, which is very humbling, and I love. If you have a question and you want to make sure that I can answer it to the best of my ability, If you click, and I'll answer them as they scroll past, but they go pretty fast. If you click on the $sign and you contribute some money, I think it's over $2, it'll pin you your question to the top. I can see it while it's there for a while. And if I don't get to it, even afterwards, I'll be able to see it and I'll make another video and answer the question. Thank you. Now, does anyone have any, let me see, what was the girl's name in New Zealand? You've been in ketosis since 2015, Richard. Do you have that documented in some way? Have you written it down? I have a giant spreadsheet and I document everything. So mine is on this giant Excel spreadsheet. It doesn't have to be that involved, but if you can document it some way and you would like to be contacted by the researcher, let me know. What was the girl's name in New Zealand? I think you mean Iceland. And I'll put a link to her channel in the comments below after this is not live. But it's Bryndis, Bryndis, running on keto. She's in Iceland. I think she's north of the Arctic Circle. How much does the machine cost? If you're talking about this is what I use to measure my ketones. I don't do it often because of one thing, I always know I'm in ketosis, unless something really strange has happened. But I measured this morning because I was surprised by the fact that if you missed it, I hit another new low. So right now, I'm gonna have to look at my spreadsheet. I think I have 5.3 pounds left to my last goal, what I think will be my last goal. And frankly, I never thought I'd be here. I never thought I would be here. I'm gonna take off my jacket. It's chilly in here, but I'm gonna take off my jacket and show you. I am not, I'm not a runway model. I never thought I'd see my clavicles. I never thought I'd see this. I now have knuckles where I used to have dimples. Can any of you relate? I used to look like I was just wearing a flesh mittens, okay? I love getting my hand around my wrist. I never thought this would happen. I was very big, 95.4 pounds as of this morning. And frankly, that's 113 point something off my actual highest, which was in 2000. So don't give up. Even if you think you're stuck, if you think you're stuck, start asking questions. With myself, I do this same thing with my coaching clients and the questions that I try to answer that I do with myself. I was in ketosis. This was when I was about 45 pounds lost. I went to a support meeting with Dr. Westman. I'm not a patient of his. He's just very generous and he has these support group meetings. And I'm close enough that I went. Dr. Westman, I'm in ketosis. I'm not losing weight. I stopped losing weight. So we asked some questions. Those of you who have watched show off. Oh, that's great. If you want to, Richard has just said he has emails from Tristan, who was his coach. If you can send me those stats or just reach out to me, I don't need to see the stats, okay? All I need is your contact information. The researcher's going to anonymize everything and will contact you. So just get me your direct contact information if you have not already. So he asked qualifying questions. And I want someone to jump in here. Can anyone tell me what he asked the question to? I was not overeating carbs. I was on this. He asked these questions. What did he ask me that changed my game? I want to see if anyone's been listening. Well, Richard said it was my message, but it was really what Dr. Westman said. Are you eating only when hungry? That changed the name of the game. This is why measuring is important to me. You don't have to be in ketosis to lose weight. You don't have to measure to be in ketosis. I mean, if you don't want to measure, don't measure. You can measure with the urine strips. I won't talk about those again unless someone wants to hear why people, yes, Karen knows all the answers. She should be doing these videos. If you want to hear why I disagree, and so does the researcher who all she does is research ketosis, Why, when you hear throw out the keto sticks, they're useless, is not exactly accurate. Let me know. I won't go over it again unless somebody wants to hear it. This is the Precision Extra Monitor. I think it's about $40 from Amazon. I'll put a link below. The strips are expensive, okay? I get them from Canada. When I buy them in bulk, they come up to be about $2.20 each. Free shipping. And it's worth it to me. I don't measure all the time. But here's why measuring is important. If you know you're in ketosis and you're not losing weight, if you're eating ketosis, you're not overeating carbs, right? So that first question, because the first question is always, are you eating too many carbs? If you're in ketosis, you're not overeating carbs. You're in ketosis, you're burning fat for fuel. Great. So what could it be? Are you eating only when hungry? Are you overeating dietary fat? You don't have to pound back the fat. Again, I'm not going to go over that unless someone wants me to repeat why not to add a bunch of fat to your food. Not to drink your fat. If it's working for you, awesome. If you're losing and you feel good, do what you're doing. If you're stalled, start asking yourself questions. Do we know why not to overeat dietary fat? Class? Who's going to answer that question? Why do we not, if we're stalled, why do we want to look at if we're putting a bunch of fat in our coffee or eating too many fat bombs? Why is that? Pat wants to know, have y'all tried Kerrygold butter and salad greens? I bet that's good. I assume you melt it a little bit and drizzle it over. How do you do that? Let me see if there's anything else I need you to go. I want to repeat, this Sunday, March, whatever Sunday will be, Brindis and I are going to try a collaboration. I like her style. She and I don't do everything the same way. We're at different places. We're different ages. She runs. I don't run. I've run a couple of times, but she wants to run. She's younger. She's different. So she does things a little bit differently than I, but I really like the way she analyzes what's going on. She says, okay, let's figure it out. And we'll talk about it on Sunday. But Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is 6:30 GMT. Figure out your time zone. We're going to try a collaboration, and we're just going to open it up live and take questions. I find that if I keep my blood sugar at 4.4, 4.6 for extended periods of time, the fat is melting off. So your blood sugar is what you look at. So you're looking at, I'm not sure where you are, Richard, or how you're measuring, because when I test my blood sugar, it comes in a different measurement. I know in different parts of the world it's measured differently. So this morning, because I was curious, why did I lose weight? Now, I've always lost weight getting to my new lows at tenths of a pound, and I celebrated those. But now I've lost 5 and something pounds in the last 3 weeks. Wow. Piper, come here. I'm going to try not to jump off screen and let Piper out. I'm going to give her a treat. Maybe that'll keep her quiet. Piper has an unhealthy relationship with food. You do take after your humans. Not burning your own fat will keep melting it off just to really keep carbs really low. Richard, answer the question. You don't want to add dietary fat. If you're losing, great. If you're stalled, if you're in ketosis, which means you're a fat burner, keep in mind, the ketogenic diet is not a weight loss diet. It's a fat burning diet. You switch your body from burning glucose for fuel to ketones for fuel. Ketones mobilize fat for energy. That's how it works. But if you're drinking or eating all the fat your body needs, it won't take it off your body. Oh dear, I just had a pop in. We're going to the low carb cruise this year. I'm really excited. It's an Alaska cruise. And I just had something pop in, say deadlines are coming up. I've been procrastinating. You're in Hong Kong. Fantastic. That is cool. Around 80. Unfortunately, butter doesn't work for me. Love it like candy. Had to limit it. That's the thing. Figure out what your deal is. You know what I don't eat much of? Mashed cauliflower, because I love it. And I'll overeat it. So I make it, but I portion control it and I step away because I'll just eat it. I eat 6 ounces of Kerrygold a day in my coffee, vegetables, bone broth with meat. And it's working for you, Pat? That is awesome. That would be a lot for me. That would be a lot of dietary fat. I am going to have to take care of Piper. Excuse me. I'll be right back. Sorry about it. Joys of live. Sorry, I'm going to just leave the door open even though it's chilly. That way they can come and go. Piper and Atticus. Does anyone have, you also use the keto strips. So you're talking about the urine strips, right, Richard? And listen, again, I won't go over again why the keto sticks are perfectly legitimate. You can sometimes get a false negative that's kind of under your control. If you just keep the strips sealed in their container, don't let them get overexposed to air. Make sure they're not expired, and measure later in the day than first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, the acetoacetate, which is the byproduct of ketosis that comes out through your urine, will not be diluted. Okay, so I'm sorry. I try not to be disjointed. I know that this is disturbing or unpleasant for some people who watch live. Again, if you're watching this and it's live and you don't like me responding to the questions, just wait for another video and I'll do one that's not live. So this morning I hit the new low. I was very surprised. Well, let me check some things out. So I checked my glucose, which I don't do very much, so I don't need to, and my ketones. I don't know if you can see this. Can you? Don't know. My glucose was 68, pretty good. My ketones, and again, I don't know if you can see it because of the funny things that lenses do, 3.6. So I was, I'm just curious why I lost weight. I don't know. So what did I do differently? I didn't really do too much differently. I'm down to about a meal a day, y'all. Some people think that, oh, well, that's why you're losing weight. You're starving yourself. No, that's really all I want. It's all my body needs. You're welcome to follow me on my Fitness Pal. I'm just Casey Durango, no space. Keep in mind that just because I might eat 900 calories, including my adult beverage a day. It might come out to less. Some days it's more. I listen to my body. I eat when I'm hungry. I don't if I'm not. Just because that's what I'm putting in my mouth does not mean that that's what my body is consuming. My body is getting the energy it needs. Don't think of it as calories. Think of it as energy. My body needs energy. It's going to use energy. It's mobilizing the energy from the food I put in my mouth and my reserves of body fat, of which there are tens and tens of thousands of kcals of energy, okay? So what did I do differently? Ron has asked, what do I do that keeps my ketones so high? That's just my body chemistry. I don't do anything to keep them high. Keep in mind, higher ketones doesn't mean more body fat being burned. Higher ketosis level by measure. Who can tell me what we need to make this analogous to? I have to put my jacket back on because the door's open and so I'm chilly. Can anyone say, when measuring for ketosis, what's a good analogy that some people test for and want to see the results? Karen, thank you so much for that question. I think you tee them up for me, I think. Yes, I think a blood sugar, Richard, of 68 is, I'm really pleased. You're either in ketosis or you're not in ketosis. Higher ketone reading on this precision, it's not a competition. This is from Dr. Stephen Finney. He said actually he's got some, they've got research in some companies part of, and the young techs, they've all gotten these monitors because they're learning about the stuff. And he says, it's really kind of funny. They're all like, every morning, what was your reading? Mine was higher. Oh, mine's lower. He said, it doesn't matter. He says, don't worry about that. You're either in ketosis. Thank you. Lori, either you're pregnant or you're not. That's the other test. Either you're in ketosis or you're not. So if you're using the urine sticks and it's the palest pink, that's just as good as the deepest purple. That is more a reflection of hydration. Now, if you're in neutral, if you're in the taupe, and your sticks, your keto sticks are not expired and they've not been overexposed to air, they've been kept tightly, and you're not measuring when you're overhydrated or have a full bladder like first thing in the morning, maybe you're not in ketosis. So then you ask yourself, am I overeating carbs? Okay. Karen wants to know, what about keto cakes and treats? No, I really don't try to fake food. Okay. For me, the one thing you really can't fake out is a baked product, okay? I've made keto cheesecake, which is fat and Splenda. It's fat and Splenda. But I don't eat much of it, and it's, maybe at Thanksgiving. My husband can tolerate it. I make almond cookies for my lovely mate. I use ground almonds, which are not on page 4, okay? Nuts are not on page 4. More's the pity. He can tolerate them and remain in ketosis. We're all different. He doesn't overeat them. Last night, he made them himself. I was out for a walk with a friend and got home, and he'd made almond cookies. Yay, him. So I don't use coconut flour, almond flour, oat, whatever it's called. I don't do it because for me, for a few reasons, I think just like eating the mashed cauliflower, it like triggers mashed potatoes for me, which is a comfort food. I don't want to do it. So not for me. Test yourself though. This is why it's good. What, real food? Yes. This is why it's good to measure. Okay, so we've actually done experiments in our house. We're in ketosis. A food from my husband's native Colombia is a patacone. In different parts of Latin America, they call them tostones, and they might be called something else. It's green, underripe plantain, which is the green banana you see in the stores. And they're hard. I mean, they're really underripe. They're not ripe at all. You cut them in logs, throw them in some oil, take them out, smash them down with something called a patacone smasher, salt them, throw them back in the oil, bring them out, salt them again, eat them. Really good. They're not on page 4. But, he couldn't list every food in the world. So we said, let's just test it. Can we eat patacones? Because we really like them. So we have found out that I can eat a couple of patacones. I think he's eaten up to 4. And it does not kick us out of ketosis. So that's another reason it's good. So Karen, if you're in ketosis, you're feeling good, and you can tolerate a keto treat, go for it, okay? There's not one way to do this. We are all different. Excuse me. Okay, I'm just going to kind of vamp here. I'm going to bring everyone up to date. For those of you just joining, I hit a new low this morning, happily. Oh, it was also, listen to this, guys. It was a new decade. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? We're happy when we get under a century. We're happy when we get under a decade. I'm in a new decade. Woo! So if I lose these next, I think it's 5.3 pounds, I think I'll weigh less than I did when I got married, when I was 22. So let's keep a good thought. Treats always start cravings for me, yeah, so I stay away from them. Trouble limiting goodies, even the diet Jell-O. Do the Jell-O though that I make myself. Measure the cream. Measure. Things on page 4 might be allowed. They're not unlimited necessarily. Even veggies. People really can get off of the veggies. They'll, big salads. Well, salads, lovely. I love salads. But even salad greens are not unlimited. About this much. The size of a fist, twice. So 2 fists. Not 2 fistfuls, not as much as you can hold in your fists. The size of your fists. And 1 size of the fist for non-starchy vegetables. That's it, because almost all the carbs I get are in vegetables. Some days I have 2 carbs a day because I don't eat vegetables some days. Yeah, golly, it really does. The new decade makes it even better. Agreed. Almond flour is allowed depending on the program you follow, but like I said, it's rare, and I do almond flour. I try page 4 95% of the time. If that works for you, that is really good. Good morning, Trudy from Florida. Housekeeping. I do one-on-one coaching. I say this because I'm trying to keep the lights on. My husband keeps the lights on. I'm trying to continue to be able to justify spending the time and resources I need to do this. So I do one-on-one coaching. You can see that at my website. I have started a Patreon account. You go to patreon.com/GoKetoWithKC, and there will be some, there will always be free content, but I will have some little rewards and some content that will only be available to people who are patronized, and I think that's only fair. The super chat is here. If you want to make sure I get to a question or a comment, and you click on the super chat, it'll be pinned, and I'll be able to see it and follow up there. And Sunday, March, whatever this Sunday is, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. I think it's the 12th. Brindis, running on keto, who is a young woman from Iceland who I really like her. I just like her style. We're going to have a joint collaboration. I guess that's redundant. We're going to have it live, and we're going to try to answer some questions. It may not work. We're going to see what happens. 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 6:30 GMT Sunday. We're going to have a live event. And Terry, Google it, or it's on the files on Casey's Facebook page. I assume that you're asking about page 4, yes. Oh, and listen, one of the rewards, if you go to my Patreon thing, I think I put it, if you donate $2, and if you go and subscribe for $2 a month, I think that's what it was. I'll mail you my own personal PDF printed, stapled together of the version I've been using since day 1. I'll mail it to you through snail mail. It has been tweaked by Dr. Westman, but it's really a basic thing, and I'm happy to send it to you if you go to my Patreon page. Okay, any questions? I'm here. I want this to be a Q&A, so I'm going to wait here. I think I got my housekeeping things taken care of. I'm going to scroll back up and see if I can see any questions. Trouble eliminating, I saw that one. Almond flour, we talked about that. Do I ever have keto? Oh, adult beverage. What does my adult beverage contain? Liquor. I like spirits, so I might drink vodka and diet tonic. I might drink gin and diet tonic with lime juice squeeze. Martinis. I like martinis. That's what it contains, is vodka or gin, and maybe some vermouth and olives. Wine, dry wine, so not sangria and not cordials, not sweet wines, but Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, red wines, Merlot, whatever. I'll drink that. So I'm going to scroll back down. Why does your coffee have 2 carbs? I think you've asked me that, Trudy. I'm sorry. Because I put Splenda in it. And, you know, the amount I put, it gets up there, and I count it. I really measure it out. So I'll go back and look, but I actually created that coffee on MyFitnessPal based on what I put in. I put Nescafe in, I put heaping teaspoons of Splenda, and golly. And then the heavy cream, which I do measure out, 2 teaspoons per cup. Kim writes, thank you, Kim. My goodness, you're inspiring. 2 weeks ago for the first time, doing great. I've learned a lot. I'm so glad. Thank you, Kim. I really appreciate that. That was a really generous thing to do. And let me tell y'all, the money that people have donated to support, that goes right back into me doing this. So I need some improved equipment. Some of my videos, I've actually made fewer of them because when I try to make them quality, my phone is driving me nuts, and I need to get something better. And so this is rolled back into this, and I want to give value, and I want to keep, this is going to sound overly dramatic. I have found, I think, what I'm supposed to do. For those of you who don't know my history, I was very, very, very overweight for a really, really, really long time. 30 years essentially, 28 years or something. And I'd given up on myself. I hadn't given up on life. I'm an optimistic person, but man, I was getting weighed down, literally, emotionally. I was looking ahead to another 30 years of feeling like crud. You know, I knew that medical science could keep me alive, you know, but I didn't want to spend the next 30 or 40 years feeling the way I had been feeling then for about 3 or 4 or 5 years. I said, oh, this is for the birds. So I was looking for a way to not have to take insulin for high blood sugar. I was on deck. I was getting ready. Everyone in my family, I was super fat, had been for a long time. You know, my blood pressure was high. So I Googled down Dr. Westman's white coat video, which is in a playlist of mine. And all I wanted was to not take insulin. I didn't have to take any medications, and I didn't want to start. So he said, don't eat carbs. Keep it below 20. Eat off of this allowed food list, the thing that I'll mail to you if you go to my Patreon page. And so I did. And the first week, I lost 8.1 pounds. And then I lost some more. And then I lost some more. And after about 3 weeks, my joints quit hurting. My knuckles, my neck, my shoulders, my knees, my hips. It wasn't because I wasn't fat anymore, because I was still way overweight. So anyway, this has been the ultimate life-changing experience. And I've said, you know, to myself and to others, man, I wish I knew this. Wish I understood. Not that I knew it. I wish I understood then what I understand now about the physiology of all this back when I was whatever. And I thought, well, no, let's not anticipate that would have been the right thing. There's a quote from Queen Esther. Does someone know it? For such time as this? Is that the quote from the book of Esther? For such time as this is my time. I'm supposed to be doing this. And I want to do it. I feel like it's a calling. I know it sounds really dramatic. But I figure if one person does not go through feeling the way I felt, if it saves them a month of their life without feeling that way, and then maybe they talk to somebody else, and maybe they model that behavior for their children. Maybe they convince their doctor that, no, don't be afraid of this diet. It's good for people. And that doctor influences 50 people. So that's why I do this. And this is why I really appreciate the support that I get, because I want to be able to keep doing it and I want to get better at it. Question already scrolled on. Starting keto at the weight you started at. What is the different? Was it a different way? Example, did you eat more food? I made lots more food back then. I had a lot of food. I loved it. It was so much fun. I simply did not eat any carbs. I had no carbs, essentially. I went whole hog, you should pardon the expression. I ate fatty sources of protein and fatty dairy. So I would eat, didn't track it. You know, Westman said, don't worry about your calories. So I didn't track calories. He said, just don't eat carbs. Keep them below 20. Eat off of this list. Eat only when hungry. So the eating only when hungry had to become refined. But I would start out with a huge breakfast, 2 or 3 eggs, maybe an omelet with bacon, sometimes and with sausage. Lunch, hamburger with cheese and bacon and mayonnaise. No bun, of course. Lunch, crustless pizza, shredded cheese with some pepperonis under the broiler for 90 seconds. And would eat it right off the silpat. Dinner, steak or chops or chicken thighs with the skin and broccoli with cheese sauce. So I ate a lot of food. I got to the point I simply couldn't eat that much food. If you really listen to your body, you just can't eat that much. So gradually I started eating less food. Then I got to the eat only when actually hungry. Now keep in mind, hunger on this way of eating is different than hunger when you're a glucose burner. And I'm planning to make a long video, not a live one, about that. Excuse me, I have to plug in my computer. About that. Because I talked to Dr. Westman about it. Because people are afraid of being hungry. And so I'm going to have that as a topic if my phone will hold up. Let me video stuff. So I gradually ate less food. You know, first I gave up the lunch, then the pizza, the afternoon snack, and it wasn't always pizza, but something like that went. And then breakfast got later in the morning because I just can't even stomach the idea of eating. And then dinner got smaller, and then breakfast got really later. And sometimes I haven't eaten anything today. It's 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've had a cup of coffee, and I'm having this bouillon because I needed sodium. Again, I will probably make a full video about the sodium and my experience. If someone wants to know, I am happy to follow up that. And I may not eat. I'm empty right now, okay? I'm empty. But I don't feel like eating. I like this feeling of emptiness. I'm not denying myself. I'm not trying to intermittent fast, so-called. I don't say, I'm only going to eat in this window of time. I eat when I really am hungry. The other day, I ate a hearty breakfast. My husband is a good cook, and he provides me with a wonderful breakfast those mornings when I feel like it. And I ate it. And at lunch, I was sitting right there. And my lovely mate, it was the weekend, he was here, he was doing something. I said, babe, I'm hungry. Would you make me something to eat? I never do that. I said, can you throw something together? And he did. And I ate it because I was hungry. So I ate 2 meals at a time when many days I haven't eaten anything. You listen to yourself. But it is a different hunger than when you're a glucose burner, I promise you. And you're not going to die if you get hungry. Hunger does not equal death. At least not the way we're talking about it, because that's disrespectful to talk to people who actually are starving to death. The broth recipe, I made a video. I made a video on my stupid phone. It's going to take me forever to cobble this thing together. Which is one reason I started doing the live stuff. It's just easier to do it live through my computer. Broth is super easy, guys. And I'm a lazy cook. Someone said, when do you make a cookbook? The only way I could do it is if it's titled Casey, the Lazy Cook, Cooks Keto. And it'll be the shortest book in history. I'm lazy. So I just take bones. We reserve them for when we make the little chicken drummies, which is one of my most popular videos. It's just chicken drumsticks from Costco, frozen. I throw them in frozen into a skillet. I don't bother to thaw them out. We reserve the bones after we've eaten our chicken. If we get if we cook a full bird, if we had pork chops, we save the bones because we get bone and pork chops. Standing rib roast, beef bones. It's all together. All one big happy family of bones. And I might throw in an actual soup bone that purchased from a store specifically for making broth. Throw them in the crock pot. I don't roast them. Maybe I should. I don't. And of course, if we've cooked the food, they're already cooked. I don't even roast the soup bones that come from the store. Cover them with water. I do put in about, tablespoon or 2 of vinegar. The acid helps leach the minerals supposedly out. I don't put any spices because I spice my broth once it's done. I let it sit for maybe 2 or 3 days in the crock pot. Low. Then I, take off the bones, take those out. And they're to the point where I can mush them. I put them in the dog's food because they turn to powder. Let it cool in the fridge. Whatever fat is there rises to the top. I can literally take it off if it's thick enough, like a disc. But I'll just skim that off. And thank you, Urith. I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you so much. $2. And then what is left is like a gel. It's wonderful because all that collagen is in there. So I take that. I put 4 ounces by weight into a mug. Salt, sodium. I put 2.5 teaspoons of Diamond brand kosher salt in this. That sounds like a lot, but it tastes really good. Some cayenne pepper and some ginger. Hot water. I'm good. Richard, I eat a chunk of butter when I wake with coffee. Then a decent lunch, and that's it. See, Richard? Now, you're a dude, right? You would think, okay, that's not enough food for a man to eat. I didn't put my food on MyFitnessPal for a long time because I didn't want people to think they should eat what I eat. I'm short. I'm little. I am petite, okay? I'm not big bones. I'm puny. Never thought I'd say that about myself. I'm puny. I'm 58, almost 59 in April. I think postmenopausal, pretty sure. So my energy needs are different than many other people's. Looking at the watch. So you eat to your level of energy needs, but don't think you're going to, that your stomach's rumbling, that's hunger. That's not. That's a circadian rhythm per Dr. Eric Westman, the world authority on this topic. So that's just your body saying you usually eat now. Send it on down. You don't have to do it. It'll pass. 2 tablespoons of vinegar, white vinegar, whatever I have, Joelle. You know, it's just the acid that it's looking for. I could probably throw in lime juice if I had enough lime juice. You want the acid to help leach out the minerals from the bones. So I happen to have apple cider vinegar from Costco, organic, because that's what I buy. And I just put a couple of tablespoons. Haha, I let my broth cook for a couple of days also. Yeah, that's really what you need to do. That's the name of the game. Pumpkin would love the powdered bones, and it's good for them. Okay, and Richard, okay, man, you're a dude, you're 5'11", you're essentially eating a meal a day and a stick of butter. And you're alive to tell the tale. Can you share, did you do this for health? Did you do it for weight loss? And can you share some of the, the 411 on that? Do I continually add water over the 2 days? I simmer it super low on my crock pot, and I will add some. You don't want the bone sticking up, but not a lot. I don't have to continually do it. I think on the last batch, I added some water once. Oh, Paula, thank you for $2. Thank you so much. God, this means so much. I will show you whatever I get that I'm folding back in. These donations are not, are not buying bling or going out drinking. This money is to put back into this. Okay, I promise you that. I'm so glad you guys said. Karen, thank you, $5. I wish someone would ask a question. I want to give back. Ask a question with your thing. If it's a bone, it goes in there. Because, they're all essentially the same. You get a big knuckle of beef, I think it's called a knuckle, and throw it in there, big cow things. Now, I did it once with oxtail. My husband brought oxtail. That was a mistake, because the oxtail really should just be cooked in the meat. It's awkward. I don't think we'd do it again because it's work to get the meat from the oxtail. So we cooked them. I didn't use that for broth because it was a lot of meat, and that was not what we needed. So we ate the oxtail meat and then threw the oxtail bones in there. Marrow bones, yeah. Marrow is really awesome. You want the marrow. It's full of collagen, and it's supposed to be good for our face. Someone asked about my skin. Here's another thing on the Patreon page. I probably will put some of the information reserved for patrons. I am considering, and we're discussing, some skin surgery. I do have some crepey skin. It is nothing like I thought it would have been. If you had told me 3 years ago, I'm running out of time here, guys. If you had told me 3 years ago, you're going to lose 95 pounds on a 5'1" frame, I'm going to think, oh, wow, I'm going to be, my loose skin would be a tripping hazard. It's nothing like that. It's crepey. So it's not a big deal, but it's also cosmetic to get it done. So there's a cost with that. So we're trying to fold that in. I do need a revision of reconstruction from a mastectomy. I've said it before. If your ears are offended by talk of such things, earmuffs for 10 seconds. What happens when you have a mastectomy and have an implant put in on one side and you lose 90 pounds and the implant was put in size appropriate, one loses weight and one doesn't. So I have a bulgy and a squinty. Like I've said, it's like I have a half a grapefruit and a fried egg. TMI, I know. So anyway, I really should have a revision. My clothes don't hang properly. And that would be medically covered, but we have a huge deductible, like many people do. We have a $10,000 deductible. So all that surgery is going to be something. But anyway, I will talk about, okay, Richard. Body fat dropped from 22 to 14%. Jenny, thank you so much. Thank you. Let me, body fat, Richard, did I miss how much you, I did it to boost mental clarity and to lose body fat from around the flank, back, and it's worked. I feel amazing now. I'm so grateful, Richard, for you sharing this as a man. You know, a lot of women around here. And you got the mental clarity, I'm going to assume, and your body fat dropped. I mean, that's teenager. That's fit teenager numbers there. And you're 5'11", and you eat 1 meal a day, essentially, and you're good. Someone asked about hair. My hair seemed to thin out a little at the beginning. I don't have much hair anyway. It's very fine, but it's back to normal. So I don't think there's a reason that you should be losing hair. Cut. Oh, how about that? How about we block that unpleasant person? Okay, nasty person. We don't like them. You only when you're hungry. You only when you're hungry. I'm off after 7 a.m. Oregon time for a 3-mile walk with the Huntingdons. You go, girl. Your friend's grandchild is on this diet for seizures. Is it helping, Jesse? Yeah, lost hair in the beginning. That's bad. Non-ketosis, weight stalled. You sure you're below, Jane? Are you sure you're below 20 grams? Total grams, not net. And some people think they're below 20 grams, but they think vegetables are unlimited. So be careful about that. Yeah, it's often prescribed. Back in the 20s, Johns Hopkins developed this diet for children with epilepsy, and it was very effective. And then after World War II, the pharmaceutical industry came up with pill to control the seizures, and bye-bye nutrition. Yes, that was a nasty person. Okay, Total Jane, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, sister. How are you measuring whether you're in ketosis or not? And are you measuring with urine sticks in the morning? If you are, try measuring in the evening. Because your acetoacetate can be diluted. I wish I was in ketosis. I've tracked my carbs every day for 2 weeks. Maybe I need to be below 15. Some people need fewer. I need very low carbs, and I eat very low carbs. I don't feel deprived. Carbohydrate is not an essential nutrient. Carbohydrate is not an essential nutrient. There are people that are still saying you must eat carbs to provide glucose to your brain. As Dwight Schrute from The Office would say, false. That is false. Your body generates glucose as is needed through a process called gluconeogenesis. Please oh, Lori, thank you. Thank you. I wish you'd ask a question. I want to get back. Thank you, Lori. Read The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living by Dr. Stephen Finney and Dr. Jeff Volek. It will explain, reading that is what explained the science to me so that I could really embrace it. I knew I was losing weight. I was happy to follow the program. But that book, and Dr. Stephen Finney is someone that Dr. Westman asks questions of when he has a question. Explains the physiology. You don't need to eat carbs. You don't need to. If you want to, in vegetables and so and you're doing well, do it. I eat some vegetables. I measure them by weight. I top out at about 3.5 or 4 ounces of vegetables when I eat them. Do we count the carbs from your minimum daily greens and handful of other vegetables as part of total carbs? Yes, absolutely, Valerie. That's almost the only carbs I get. Yes, everything you put in your mouth goes towards that. Okay, anything you eat, veggies are carb, but are needed for nutrients. No, Mary Beth, I'm sorry to tell you, no, they're good for you. This is a very nutrient dense way of eating. And if you can get your electrolytes in balance, magnesium, potassium, sodium, which is the reason I'm drinking this big hunkin' mug of broth with a lot of added sodium, the electrolytes are balanced out. Dr. Westman says, if you want to take a multivitamin, do. Carb, sugar, hidden a lot of things that you wouldn't realize. I have to read every label carefully, even some spice blends. Yes, read your labels. Absolutely. And don't look for the grams of sugar. Look for the grams of carbohydrate. Great. Terry just got that book from Amazon. Thanks, Jesse. It's time for me to pop off. It is technical, Rhonda, but and some things take a couple of readings, but it is very good. Thank you guys very much. I really, really appreciate the support. You have no idea how much I appreciate the support. I will be doing this again Monday, a week from now, 9:00 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, GMT -5. And if I will try to have some structure and talk about things. Thank you so much. And Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Bryndís from Iceland and I are going to try to have a joint venture. She does things a little differently than I do, and I think we respect each other for that. Thanks a lot, guys. Does anyone have anything to say or ask? I'm just looking. Thank you, hugs. Thanks a bunch. Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Bless.